Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode.
Hello.
Amanda, what are we going to chat about today?
We are, I guess, a few things. We are talking about kind of more elaborating on what going back to work has looked like. And I actually did a couple more hours of just getting familiar with some stuff. So I can talk about that. And then talking about my hand, more importantly, my right hand, which has the most deficits of anything that's going on with me. And is that it?
And you're talking about prepping for your next round of chemo if you feel prepared.
Yes, I do feel prepared.
So which one do you want to start with? The chemo, your hand deficits, or work?
Probably work.
Okay.
Yes, so it's not, and I also didn't go back to work. It was just like, let's see what I'm capable of doing. And what I realized that I was incapable of doing was I couldn't do a mouse. I couldn't remember the software program. Mostly it was just a bunch of things I couldn't do. And I realized really early on that I do have sensation in my hand, but it kind of from here down, it's almost like I don't have sensation. So even though my arm can work and I can move it around, that's there, but it's not, what is the word? It's not really fully functioning, and it's almost like a phantom limb. So I did realize I have to use a mouse in my left hand. I can click it with my left hand. I'm definitely becoming more left hand dominant, which is probably not a good thing. Our office party is tomorrow, and it was really funny because everyone's like, oh, why don't we just like love on Amanda? And because we always do cornhole on our Christmas parties, and they're like, yeah, well, let's all use our non-dominant hand. And I'm thinking like, oh man, I'll school everyone because I'm like doing really well with my non-dominant hand as of right now. So that has been an adjustment. Using a program that I've done for 13 years has been an adjustment. I really was anticipating going back to work part-time, like maybe 3 days a week. And no, I do not think that is happening anytime soon. I've really realized like it's gonna be a long road to recovery, but gaining the sensation or function, or really realizing what I might need that's adaptive for people with disabilities, because that's what's going to have to happen.
Do you think that, having had this experience, do you think that you could have done things to work on it or better prepare yourself for it in the past? And do you think there's stuff that you can proactively do now moving forward?
I really didn't. 100%. Sometimes I'm absolutely lazy about rehab. It's just like, oh, it's another
What are
thing.
you defining sometimes as, just for my own edification here?
I mean, I would say sometimes. Like sometimes I put in the work and sometimes I don't put in the work at all. That it could have, and I also don't know. I could have been like a little bit farther along with my hand if I did a little bit of the rehab that Cottage Hospital told me to do. And that was a few months ago.
6.
But I'm also really surprised. I went back into work, and by all means, like, I'm not like even getting paid for this. This is like, let's see what Amanda can do. And I was able to use the mouse faster. I was like, oh yeah, like this is what happens when a patient cancels or like reschedules. Oh yeah, this is so. It was kind of nice to go back in for 2 times in a week, because I do feel like I was definitely already, oh yeah, things were starting to feel a little bit familiar. I was not having to ask my coworker Christy for 800 like ways to solve the same problem. And yeah, so it's I'm not as far as I thought I would be, but I am also not giving up. So I do think that there is going to be a return to work, but I do think that there's going to be a lot of progress that needs to be made before something even remotely part-time is going to work out.
One of the things you do really well, and I'm striving to learn from you, and I don't think I'm doing a very good job of it, is you are really good with just the now.
Yeah.
And I get stuck in that, well, Amanda, this is what I've been trying to tell you for the last 6 or 7 months. And then I personalize it too, right? You don't do the rehab, you don't want to do this. And what I hear is, you don't want my help. And then I personalize that, I hold on to it, everything else. And then I think, well, yeah, you should be a lot further along if you were just willing to do some of the rehab.
But maybe it'd be just like how I am today.
It wouldn't be, and you know that. I mean, so, because the thing is too, your David Goggins thing, you talked about this one guy who you found, and he was so meticulous, he couldn't see. He wrote the names on the ping pong balls, and he looked at them every day and did these like little just tedious exercises over and over again to be able to regain his sight. And so I hear you say those things, and then to try to get you to do it. But what you do really well, and I'm trying to learn to do better, is not to allow it to be water under the bridge and just say, okay, what's happened has happened. What can I do now? And then I guess I still struggle with where I want to be able to support you with that. But then what does that look like? Because you're, like you said, sometimes, which I'm still not clear what that is.
Sometimes is 1% or more. 1% or more of the time, it's probably somewhere in between
that's an honest,
30%.
So speaking of sometimes, let's transition into, you're getting ready to start your next round of chemo. How do you feel you've done with preparing for this? What have you done well? What could you have improved on?
I actually think that this round, I have a feeling, is going to be going great. I think that I'm definitely making sure I'm hydrated. I do feel like, I do eat most of the food that's on my plate. And I'm pretty actually optimistic about this one, because there are some items that we had bought for this round, and I'm curious, or I do think that it's going to go well. I really do. I think that it's going to go. And then I also, my social worker gave me some patches to wear, the seasickness patches, just because I do live at the beach. I do walk a path that lines the water, and I did realize that kind of bothered my stomach last time, was kind of the motion of the waves. So that's something that it is now added. And the massage, definitely making sure that Larry's on board once chemo is rounding out. And we got a few tools to help with it's a PEMF or PMF mat to help with cellular repair. So I feel like we have a lot of things kind of going on, and I'm curious how they're going to help this next round.
Very good. We will do updates as you go into it, and we'll wrap it up there just to stay on time. As always, we appreciate each and every one of you for being on the journey with us. We love you. We hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are, and there will be more to come from Amanda very soon.